Welcome to today's edition of Mental Health Matters. Today we're going to be talking about getting healthy for the new year. I have Royce Waters on the show today. He is a certified registered nurse, and we're going to have a conversation about staying healthy for New Year's. Stay tuned. Royce, welcome to our show. Thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule and
Thank you, Jesse.
Helping us get ourselves together for the new year and staying healthy and getting healthy and staying healthy. Why don't you kind of start off by telling us a little bit about yourself and your background?
I've been a registered nurse for about 35 years. I started off at St. Mary's in Reno and got out of school and worked oncology for a while. And then I went and worked on the Indian reservations in New Mexico as a commissioned health officer.
Wow.
Part of the military that you've never heard of. Did that, and then I came to Sacramento and I worked organ transplant for probably 25 years, kidneys, livers, hearts. Fascinating place to work. And then I retired and ended up working for, coming back out of retirement, working for MSSP, California Healthcare Collaborative. I don't believe I just remembered that. Usually I forget that part.
Yeah.
So that's pretty much what I have been doing for the last 35 years.
So what made you want to become a nurse?
It's a good question. I was working in a mental hospital as a tech. I had lost my job. I was working as a 21 dealer. And I fell in love with working for healthcare. It was exciting, it was interesting. And I said, this is the way to go. And back then in the early 80s, it didn't pay anything.
Yeah.
So it was pretty much a matter of, relieve human suffering. Not gonna make much money, but you'll have a good time. And that's pretty much what led me.
Yeah, nice.
A lot of that has changed. It started making really good money around 2005, but it took a long time.
Yeah. Well, I want to backtrack because you kind of slid something in the conversation a little bit. The 21 dealer. So you used to work at a casino, huh?
Correct.
Blackjack.
I carried change. I went to blackjack school. I was a teller at the Mapes Hotel. I did everything.
Wow, jack of all trades.
Yeah, it was interesting. It was a wild time, late 70s. You wouldn't believe the stories I could tell you.
Oh, okay. So let's just dive into our topic. So what are some of the ways that people can get healthy for the new year? Because whenever a new year starts, people start to create these goals for themselves, make New Year's resolution. They want to get fit, stay healthy, lose weight, whatever it may be. Just kind of give us some suggestions.
I used to be really anti-resolutions. Resolutions are garbage, don't do it. But you know what? If it comes about that once a year you make a decision to do something positive with your health, I'm all for it. Make a resolution. Maybe you'll do it for a month, maybe you'll do it for half a year. Any attempt is good. There's 3 or 4 things to getting healthy, and that's exercise, diet, and sleep, and social connections. And it sounds so simple, but it isn't. I mean, you go to the gym now, and they're full. There's people everywhere.
Yes.
Come February 1st, you're all alone again. Yes. And that's the way it is. But if you could just find something that you like. If you've never done a 10K, don't set your goal for doing a 10K.
Right.
You're bound to fail.
Right.
Find something you like. Walking.
Yeah.
Riding a bike, stationary bike, swimming. But don't overdo it. I see so many people that they pick a routine and it's 2 hours long and it's, oh my God, and they're burnt out within 3 weeks. So go easy, be nice to yourself. Getting up off the couch is probably the most important thing you can do.
Yeah. Why do you think that is? Why do you think people set goals for themselves that they are not motivated to?
I think they're motivated, but there's so many things that get in the way. I
Okay.
mean, life. We've got kids, we've got jobs, we've got school. That's one of the reasons why I like having a home gym as opposed to going to the gym, because you can just go home and work out.
Right.
But it's just tough. Life gets in the way.
Yeah.
And more now with all of our technology, there's even more things in the way. So you really
Yes.
have to carve out. If you can only do 20 minutes, so be it.
Yeah.
That's great, but just carve out a time.
Yeah.
Put it on paper.
Yeah.
That's one of the things you can do. Don't just think it. If you write it down and you can follow it, you can go back to it later.
Yes.
And say, okay, I said 30 minutes every other day. Why am I not doing that?
Yeah.
So that's why. I mean, the reasons are, oh my God, who knows?
Yeah. So for the people who have set goals for themselves but kind of got discouraged, because they was motivated, or they can get motivated in the
Sure.
beginning, but life happens, as you said. But what would you say to people that get discouraged? What would you say to them, and how would you give them some advice to get back on track?
If you want to feel good, you have to have exercise in your life. That's all there is to it. That's that easy of a decision.
Yeah.
When you build up muscle, you burn calories.
That's true.
And that's pretty much it. Everybody has that decision. The bad thing is that if you go too far, you gain too many pounds, it's a slippery slope. You'll reach a point to where you no longer have any motivation whatsoever.
Yeah.
I mean, working out when you're 20 pounds overweight is a lot easier than working out when you're 60 pounds overweight.
I agree.
So, it's a matter of moderation. And sometimes it's best to do it with a crowd.
Yes. Yeah.
That's one of the advantages of going to a gym. You got other people around you. But before you go to the gym, get together with a couple of people and say, hey, you want to start walking?
Yeah.
I'll start running,
Yeah.
cycling.
Yeah.
It's easy to do in a group because when one person fails, the other person picks it up.
That's exactly right. Yeah. I think sometimes too, we are a society that everything is at our fingertips per se, like with the media, social media, TV, internet, and things like that. So sometimes when we as people see people on TV that we may want to be like, in a sense, as far as our body is concerned,
Yeah.
we get that extra strength, but not really realizing that the work that these people had to do.
Yeah, they
to
all
put
have
in.
personal trainers.
Yeah, yeah.
They all have dietitians that come and
Right.
feed them whatever they want.
Right.
Yeah, it's a lot easier when you've got a personal trainer and a personal chef.
Right, and it didn't happen overnight either.
It did not happen
it's-
overnight.
It's a process.
Yeah.
So, what I would say to people, if that is your goal, wanting to lose weight, get healthy, start small.
Yeah.
Start small and work your way up. I remember years ago, I was in this race, and we had teams. And so it was like 4 of us to a team, and it was 4 teams. And so I think my team was like the 3rd team to go. And I was like the 3rd person. And so, boy, when it came my turn, and my team captain kept telling me, Jesse, start off slow and then pick up your momentum. But I was so hyped up.
You burnt out, didn't
I
you?
gave it all I got.
You hit the wall.
Man, before you know it, my heart was being fed. I couldn't breathe, and I just fell to the ground.
Cyclists call that hitting the wall.
Yeah.
And once you do that, there's no fixing it.
Yeah, exactly. I was done, So the point of me saying it is, if I would have realized, and at that time, listened to my team captain, start slow and picked up the momentum, I wouldn't have ran out of gas.
Yeah, that's called wisdom.
Yeah.
That's good.
So what are some other ways that people can stay healthy? So we know the exercise, and that is a huge one, because whenever
Yeah.
somebody go to the doctor for anything, especially if if it's for a medical condition, the first thing that your doctor's going to tell you, one of the first things that your doctor's going to tell you is to exercise.
Yeah. Exercise is medicine.
Yes.
That's all my sports medicine doc friends say. Hey, exercise is medicine.
Yeah.
It's true.
Yeah.
Vaccines.
Okay.
That awful topic that really is much maligned.
Yeah.
You know, like with measles, it all has to do with herd immunity.
Yeah.
That's where everybody gets a vaccination, and if an outbreak comes, it's not bad because
Right.
everybody's protected. It's when you don't have that, people do not get the vaccinations, then it spreads and it becomes a problem.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
people still think that, the MMR, the measles, mumps, rubella, causes autism, and it's been proven it hasn't. And there are wiser guys than I that can talk about that at a much higher level. But vaccines are the important part. If you're over 60, you need 2 vaccines, absolutely. Influenza, flu, and pneumonia. I almost forgot that.
Yeah.
Those are the 2, because both of those can turn into upper respiratory infections, and then they can go into ARDS, which will kill you.
Yeah. Yeah.
So vaccinations are really, really critical. A lot of people say that the flu shot, I got sick last time. The flu shot is dead when they give it to you. If you got sick after you got the flu shot, you probably had contracted the flu maybe days before you got the flu shot.
Yeah.
And it takes about, I don't remember exactly, don't quote me, but about 2 weeks for immunity to build in.
Yeah.
So if you get the shot, you wait 2 weeks, then you're good. But if you come in contact with the flu like 3 or 4 days before or after, you're going to get sick.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the thing is that they only choose, when they do the flu vaccine every year, they choose like 5 strains of the flu and they put it in a vaccine and they give it to you. If you get one of the strains that isn't included, you'll probably get the flu.
Yeah.
It's a crapshoot.
See, I'm guilty of that, and I do follow that myth per se. I'll be honest with
Right.
you, by not getting the flu shot or other shots, because I feel like, and the thing about it is, I've never gotten sick from getting the flu shot. That's the thing.
And if I was in your situation and I didn't get the flu shot and I never got sick, I would be hard pressed to get the flu shot.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
I totally agree, but
but because
I
everybody
can't
else is
say
saying
that.
Yeah. They say, if you get this, I got sick after I got the flu shot, but it's never happened to me. So I'm
Yeah.
like, oh, okay, well, I'm not going to get it because I'm thinking that I'm going to get sick.
Sure.
So that's interesting.
Yeah. So that's my recommendation. Get your vaccines. Be up to
Okay.
date.
So what about the hepatitis
Ew,
vaccine?
that
Let's
nasty
talk about
thing.
that.
Yeah, hepatitis A comes from food and fecal.
Yeah.
It's most common in a restaurant. Bad handling of food can happen at home. A lot of the times people contract it from chicken, I believe.
Wow.
And it's nasty, make you really, really sick. Hep B and C, those are the killers.
Yeah.
Those are viruses, and you can get vaccinated for A and B.
Okay.
Which I highly recommend, especially B. If you work in the healthcare field, usually they make you.
Yeah.
Just like with the flu shot, if you don't have the flu shot, you don't come to work.
Yeah. 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 in the
So
healthcare, yeah.
but anyway, back to Hep B and Hep C. You can get vaccinated for A and B, you can't get vaccinated for C. Once you get C, you pretty much have it for life. There is a treatment that works for a lot of people, Interferon, I believe it is, and it will wipe out the Hep C. In other words, they call it your clear. You can clear your body of all remnants of the disease. So when they test you, you come out testing negative.
Really?
Yeah, and if it works, it works. A lot of people get really sick when they take the medication, and some people it doesn't clear completely, but
Yeah.
a lot of people it will clear. It's a
Wow.
great drug, but again, it's really expensive.
Yeah.
Some insurance companies will cover it and some won't. That's a whole different topic,
Yeah.
which I am not well versed in at all.
Yeah. Today I went out to for my lunch to get some lunch, and I went to a place that have soup open to the public, so anybody can go up there and fix
Yeah.
this soup for themselves. And I don't know, I just have a problem with that.
Yeah, I don't blame you.
Because, I was telling Teresa at the office, I'm like, anybody can come up there, because everybody cleanliness is different, first of all. And anybody can come up there and just drop anything.
I know.
It's just mental for me.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I just can't do it. And I've done it before.
I know.
And when I did it, I didn't feel the best
Right.
afterwards either. And so,
I was in a Starbucks last weekend, and the gal was behind the counter, and she sneezed into her hand instead of into her elbow, like most millennials are taught.
Yeah.
Sneeze into her hand and then just continue working.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'd already got my coffee, but I was
Yeah.
like, oh my
That's
God.
not okay.
Yeah, no, it isn't. And I had to say something.
yeah, good.
So,
Good.
And
And a lot of times, I don't think people even realize it at the time that they're doing that. I
Yeah.
think sometimes they're
Oh, yeah.
unconsciously doing it, but to make them aware of that is I think is really
one of the great precautions that you can take, and it's really hard to, hand washing.
Oh yeah,
Wash
so-
your damn hands. And you hot water, soap, and you rub your hands. You can sing the birthday song.
Yeah,
That pretty much is how long you need to clean your hands.
yeah,
And hand washing is really, really huge, but we sort of ignore that fact. It could
Yeah.
probably cut back on 50% of the illnesses
yeah,
if everybody did it. But again, it's back to everybody being involved.
yeah. Hand sanitizers.
There you go.
Yeah.
I used to think they were bogus, but people tell me they're good, so
Yeah.
I would use one.
Yeah, yeah. I've well, I'm not gonna say that.
Oh, yes, you are.
No. Well, I've been in the public restroom, and I've seen guys use the bathroom. They just come straight out without washing their hands. I have that. I don't know that just such a pet peeve of mine, because I'm thinking like, you got these people touching doorknobs.
I know.
It just
What do you say?
you can't say anything.
Well, you can, but you got to be ready for the response they
Yeah, I
give
wouldn't.
you. You might
I
get
wouldn't.
punched.
Yeah, I wouldn't.
Yeah, I know. I know, me either. I agree.
That's why.
Yeah, doorknobs. I'm telling you, I'd
Yeah.
love to do a study on see what the transference of bacteria is.
Yeah. I always take a napkin.
Yeah, brilliant.
After I wash my hands, whatever, I get a napkin, wipe it off. I get another napkin to cut the water off. I get another napkin to open the door when I'm going out. I literally do that.
Yeah,
After seeing stuff
yeah.
like
That may be overkill, but no, that's good.
Yeah. It's mental for me. But it makes it makes me feel comforting.
You've got a routine.
Yeah.
Overkill is never bad.
Yeah. I literally do that. Some of my friends, they make fun of me because they feels like, I'm a little bit over.
Well, next time when they're sick and you're not, you can just.
Exactly.
Where did that come from?
Yeah. So there are suggestions that some people should not get vaccinated. And let's talk a little bit about that. Why some people should not get vaccinated. If they have like allergies and things,
Yeah, if you have a documented allergy, and some people do to all these vaccines, then you should not.
or if they're not feeling well, or
Yeah, but what causes them, antigen response, I really can't speak to that.
yeah,
But yeah, some people have a really bad reaction, and yeah, you should avoid it.
yeah, exactly.
But
Yeah.
it's rare,
Yeah,
so just like, with food allergies, the big thing now is gluten-free.
yes,
And one documented, this is science, the latest study I saw was 1 in 10 people have a gluten-related stomach illness and should avoid it. The other study showed that 1 in 5 people believe they have one.
yeah,
So, and they don't.
yeah,
So there's a big, but it's not bad that they're avoiding gluten. It simply doesn't do much for them.
yeah,
If you don't have a documented gluten allergy and you're still having stomach problems, go see a doctor.
yeah, exactly.
Probably something else.
Yeah. What about that? I was talking to somebody about this the other day, and because I was at home and I was out of bottled water.
Yeah.
And I had to have it. I mean, it was just like my drug, And
We all have our quirks.
Yeah. And so my friend was like, they call me Jay. He's like, Jay, let me ask you a question. how do you think our parents and our parents survived back in the day when we didn't have bottled water? Back when they actually had to drink a cold glass of water that they had to get out the faucet. Like, so in other words, he was like, you're over here acting like you have to go get this bottle,
right,
this case of water, bottles of water, but in actuality, you can probably get a filter, hook it up to your sink, and be just as fine. I'm like, no, I'm not going to do that. But I mean, do you see what I'm trying to say?
Yeah, and personal choice for you makes you feel better.
Exactly, absolutely.
So, you could do a study and show that the filtered water from like a Berkey filter and bottled water, they come out even. But if you have personal choice, then you go with your personal choice. I just think that our parents 40, 50 years ago didn't have the pollutants that we have because of the population increase. There's so many more pollutants that are out there.
Yeah.
The pipes that they used to use back then were a lot newer, and 50, 60-year-old lead pipe, as we see in Michigan, causes a lot of problems. So I think it's just become, pollution has just grown exponentially with increase in population. So that's why I think you can't walk to your faucet and drink a glass of water. You can always get your water tested.
Yeah.
Which someone like you, who's really into it, probably should.
Yeah.
Just for peace of mind.
And I might.
Well, it might cost you a couple bucks. I've never looked into it, so I don't know what the cost is. But yeah, if I was you, I would probably get it tested. I went out and got a big Berkey filter, did a little research, and it filters the water enough to where I feel it's happy.
But you know what he did? You know what he did though? He hit me with this. He said, "Okay, you won't drink the water out the faucet." So we went and got some. But he said, you shower with the same water.
Right.
You wash your hands with the same water. You wash your hair with the same water.
Right.
You mop your floors with the same water. Everything.
How much of that is being internalized through your skin and whatnot?
That's exactly.
I don't know
what
if there's. I don't know. I think it's totally different. I think what you ingest is a lot more important than what your skin comes in contact with. But they did see in Michigan that even kids that showered and didn't drink the water had an increase in lead levels.
Wow.
So I don't know.
Yeah.
That's tricky. Go get your water tested.
Yeah.
You'll feel a lot better.
Yeah.
Then you can say, well, I like the way it tastes better out of the bottle.
Yeah. I'm not leaving the bottle.
I mean,
Of water.
Yeah, there you go. There you go.
Okay. Eating healthy.
Yeah.
Let's talk about that. So before we actually start recording, you kind of talked a little bit about seeing the McDonald's lines full and different things like that.
They still are. And McDonald's, God bless them. Who doesn't love their French fries?
Yes.
I mean, and they're not bad for you once in a while.
Yeah.
It's just that when you're going there for lunch 2, 3, 4 times a week, it is bad.
Yeah.
It's highly processed, high fat, high sugar, low nutrition stuff. And it's just not good, and it's everywhere.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the thing. And it's so easy. I mean, to eat healthy in today's crazy, speeded up society is hard.
It's
really,
really
really tough.
And it's expensive, too.
Yeah, really expensive.
Yeah.
So people that are on the lower end of the financial scheme, it's really, really tough.
Yeah.
It's so much easier to feed your family with quick order of fries and a burger.
Mm-hmm. Justice is right, man.
And there's so many good reading material out there if you want to eat healthy. It's out there. It's on television. We're so much more connected.
Yeah.
If you want to find out, you can.
Yeah. But in your opinion, do certain foods or a lack of eating healthy can potentially cause some sort of disease? Like, for example, I heard that sugar contribute to cancer. I don't know.
That's the theory. I mean, it's certainly, if you overload your body with sugar, how does it burn your pancreas out and you'll lead to diabetes?
Yeah.
I don't have the studies in front of me, but high sugar, high fat diet's bad for you. That's all there is to it.
Yeah.
Cardiologists will harp on that continuously.
Yeah.
How to eat healthy, that's a whole different problem.
Yeah.
Again, we're back to if you're rich, you can hire a dietitian and a personal trainer.
Yeah, yeah. But for those that's who can afford those things, they could do some research online.
Right, and raw foods are always better.
Yeah.
That's the one thing. You have raw foods.
Yeah.
Vegetables, even meat. The less processed they are, the better it is.
Yeah.
So if you go for raw, you're probably headed in the right direction. You don't have to see anybody.
Give some examples of raw foods for just
vegetables.
Okay.
Anything that isn't processed,
right.
out of the can.
Right.
Forget out of the can.
Yeah.
Just stop buying canned foods.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah.
And I'm sure people will argue with me and say I'm wrong. But go with as whole food as you can.
Yeah.
That's one of the reasons why I go to Whole Foods, because
Yeah.
they have a commitment to have healthier foods. I don't think they're totally honest with that, but at least when I go in there, I have a better chance of getting good food. I mean, there's one story about Michael Palin. Do you know who that is? He wrote.
No.
He's a guru of healthy foods in Berkeley, and he was with his son at this supermarket, and all of a sudden this guy comes around the corner, and his son are at the cereal section, and the guy stops and goes, "Oh my God, I'm watching Michael Palin put a box of Cheerios into his kid's basket." And Michael Palin said, once in a while isn't bad.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah. And I think that's where people can really benefit from knowing that it's okay to reward themselves.
It's that word moderation.
Right, exactly. Exactly. But it does seem like the more sugar you eat,
the more processed foods you use.
Yeah.
And all salts are not created equal. All sugars are not created equal.
Yeah. I was popcorn is one of my favorite snacks.
Yeah. Yeah, who doesn't? With butter.
Yes.
I love it when I go to the movies and they say, "Do you want butter with that?" And I'm like, "Yeah."
Yeah. Yeah. Nice.
Like,
yeah.
You have popcorn without butter?
Yeah.
Holy
I was telling
mackerel.
a friend on the phone, just a true story yesterday. I'm talking about when I go to the movies, that I said when they're up there and they have my tub of popcorn, I tell them, I'm like, just dash it, just in and out, And they look
You
at me.
must drive them crazy.
I know I do. And she said, why? Why do you do that? Like, if you go in there, get the butter.
Okay,
Get all
tell us
of the
why.
butter, yeah. But I tell them every single time, I'm like, okay, I don't want a lot of butter, just a sprinkle. And I said, well, you know what? I'll let you guys know when to stop. And as soon as I said, good, I'm good. And
So tell me, does it taste good with just a little bit of butter?
it's mental.
Yeah, okay.
It's all mental.
All
I'm
right.
telling you.
I was allergic to scallops when I was a kid, and made me throw up all the time, all in my head.
Yeah.
Later, I might have grown out of it, but I don't think so.
Yeah.
And I had scallops, and it was like, oh,
Yeah.
these are good.
Yeah.
It's all in my head. I didn't want to eat them.
Yeah.
And I carried that for 10 years.
Yeah. That's the same thing me with yogurt. I for
Oh,
some reason
really?
I did not like yogurt. It just was disgusting to me.
Yeah.
But when I started working out and eating healthy and stuff, it became one of my favorite things. So I feel like with me, I know a lot of things is mental with me per se. How important is it to get sleep? Because you kind of talked about sleep is very
Yeah, I
important.
don't have a lot of information on that, but doctors I talk to, they keep harping on me that, hey, you got to get good quality sleep, REM sleep.
Yeah.
And I ask, well, how do I do that? And I don't really get clear answers.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not sure, but sleep is really, really important.
Well, obviously, because if you don't get enough sleep, obviously you're going to feel the effects eventually.
Well, it tears your body down.
Yeah.
I mean, supposedly when we sleep, it gives the body time to regenerate, recoup, rebuild cells. And if you short it, then you don't get the whole rebuilding process.
Yeah.
That's what I understand.
Yeah. I know people who sometimes it's hard for them to sleep, and they self-medicate or they take sleep meds
Right.
to actually help them.
It's
And
a slippery slope.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, Ambien, God bless it. What a what an interesting drug. You can get to sleep really fast.
Yeah.
But my experience, I have made phone calls, I have sent texts, and the next morning I don't remember any of it.
Yeah.
So, it's a slippery slope.
Yeah.
And there are people you can see to help with that. I mean, hypnotism is a okay way to explore. You have to go, the whole thing with all these things we're hit with, healthy diets, hypnotism, yoga, all that. Find the one that works for you.
Yeah.
I mean, yoga might not be it. It might be actually detrimental and hurt you.
Yeah.
Find out what works for you.
Yeah.
It's like the right exercise. What are you going to do that you can enjoy?
Yeah.
And if you enjoy it, you're going to continue it.
Yeah, that's
so
true.
like with sleep, what can I do to help? Would it be hypnotism? Would it be exercise? Do I turn the TV off an hour before I go to bed? There's people you can talk to.
Having the right mattress.
Oh yeah, exactly.
I've heard that people talks about your cell phone, how if you are on it so many hours or so long before you go to sleep, how it contributed to you not being able to sleep.
I've been told you should not do any of that stuff for an hour before you go to bed.
And I believe that to be true.
And I have not been able to get there with that at all.
Neither have I.
I'm on my cell phone. Turn the light off. I'm off to bed.
Yeah. And are you able to go straight to sleep?
Yeah, pretty
Really?
much. Yeah, I've been okay.
I can't do it.
Yeah.
And so I got the iPhone. They have like the sleep mode light.
Yeah,
where you
sure.
can kind of dim it down a little bit. But I don't even know if that really helps, to be honest with you.
I know.
With me.
You got to find out what works. And that's the whole thing. You can't just say, I'm going to do this and I'll be asleep.
Yeah.
Find out what to do.
Yeah. I'm in the process now of buying me a new mattress. Because the mattress
what are you going to get?
No, it's so soft. And it does interrupt my sleep. And when you go on a mattress and it's not keeping your body straight, your body is kind of like, your back is kind of like at a slant because it's not comfortable at all.
So do you go see a chiropractor to see what is?
Oh no, I'm good. Like my back, everything is good. I just need a new mattress. There are times when I would get out of my bed literally and lay on my back on the floor, put a pillow down, and get my blanket, and I'm good.
But how do you go about picking a mattress to compensate for that?
I want a firm mattress.
You think it's just get a firm mattress and the problem will be resolved?
I think, yeah, because I don't have any back problems, no back issues. It's just.
But you had to get up and lie down on the floor.
Right, and this is why I think I need a firmer mattress because it's interrupting my sleep.
You might want to talk to somebody.
Really?
Yeah,
So
go check them out. They have these mattresses. I got a friend who's got a mattress and it's got a control. Yeah. And they can set it for any firmness they want.
That might be too much for me. I'm sure it costs a whole lot.
Oh yeah, it's not cheap.
Yeah.
But they call it the sleep number.
Oh yeah.
I'm at 24, whatever. So
Huh.
That's something to think about.
I might need to look into that.
Yeah, or you're going to go out and blow $1,000 on a mattress and have it not work.
Yeah, that wouldn't be
And then
good.
you buy another one. Gee, I should have bought that.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna take some people with me to kind of help me along with that.
Always take people with you.
Yeah,
our ability to solve our own problems is not as good as we think.
No, not at all. I realized a long time ago that that having people around can really I can benefit from that. I used to be one of those, I don't need nobody, I can do it by myself.
Oh my.
As the years went, I'm like, yeah, that's a lie.
Yeah, that's garbage.
Coming up in your life. So that brings you to the my next question. How important is it to have a good circle of support in your life that could contribute to you being healthy and staying healthy?
Yeah, I think it makes all the difference in the world. As long as you're not using them as a substitute for your own taking responsibility and the ultimate decision on how to answer things, I think it's absolutely imperative.
Yeah. Now,
I think isolation, especially in the job that we do with the elderly.
Yeah.
One of the things I see is the isolation when they're older, their friends have all died, and they really are miserable.
Yeah.
And a lot of them just say, I just want to get out and do something.
Yeah.
And I think that younger people, they're just not to the point where they can see
exactly
that not having a good social group causes a problem.
Exactly.
So
Exactly.
yeah, and then you run into what sort of people do you want? How do you get really positive thinkers into your life? It's interesting.
Yeah, I about a month and a half ago, I went down to see someone in Napa, and she's an elderly lady. I think she's like 82, and she had not been out the house for a while, and so this trip was planned, by the way, and so it was me and another person. So when we went down there, she was dressed, and she was like, "Oh, let's go out to eat." Because initially she said, "Well, I can cook you guys some, or we can go out to eat." I was like, "No, don't cook, cause I want to spoil it a little bit,
Right on.
And so we went out, and she was just so happy to be out. We actually went to Saint Helena. She wanted to drive for a while. And so we went out, and you could just see this glow. There's this glow. We got out to try to go in a couple of restaurants, but they was overcrowded. So we kind of had to go to one that we were able to be seated at, within like 5 or 10 minutes. But she was really enjoying herself getting out the house. So I said, "Well, you know what? Do you need any groceries? Need to run any errands?" She said, "Oh, well, I can use some things from Whole Foods." So I went to Whole Foods. I bought some flowers. I bought the food, just everything. I wanted to spoil her. And she was just so happy.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And the reason I'm bringing that up is because I don't think a lot of times the younger generation...
They're still surrounded by people.
Right, exactly.
And once you get isolated, then you realize, holy shit, I have no connections.
And that's not good.
And it isn't.
It's not good at all.
It is not healthy at all. Our need for human contact and human interaction is totally underrated.
I definitely agree.
Yeah.
But it's so much drama with a lot of the youth that they don't really realize or appreciate the human connection.
And I think there's more social anxiety out there that we really are willing to admit to.
Okay.
People have trouble, especially with the millennials.
Okay.
I think they just have poor social skills.
Yeah.
And I hear the people yelling and screaming at me, but with all of the devices, and you no longer have to interact face to face.
Yeah.
I could just text you and say,
"Oh yeah,
I can't make it."
Oh yeah.
Rather than when I was growing up, you had to hop on a telephone with a wire in it and call up a girl for a date.
Yeah.
And that was really traumatic.
Yeah.
Now you just text it, you don't have to face anybody.
Yeah.
I think that sort of prevents your social skills from developing.
Yes, it does. And
I just see a lot of social anxiety out there. People that just can't make eye contact, have trouble interacting with people, and I think it's really sad.
Yeah, yeah. I am one of those people where I text, but I can care less about texting. I'm very social. I'm very, in the mix with my friends and stuff like that, and I will call. Like a lot, matter of fact, probably 95% of the time, if they text me, I'm gonna call them.
You're one of those guys.
Yeah, no, I am, because for me, I'm one of those people that I like to create memories with people that's in my circle of support. So if, like, for example, I think, was it last weekend or something, we were out, some friends, we were out eating or whatever, and they just saw, and I'm like, okay, so now we're texting, and this is time for us to connect, talk, communicate, whatever. I'm like, man, if you guys are gonna text, then what's the point of us coming out to eat?
Yeah.
And I'm always calling out their stuff, and so eventually they kind of.
One of the best things I saw, not best things, one of the weirdest things I saw was I'm looking at my window in East Sac, and I see, and it's obviously a husband and wife.
Yeah.
And they're walking by, and both have dogs on a leash, and both have their cell phone in front of them, and they're just texting and just following each other.
Yeah, that's
and I was like, I wish I had taken a picture of it.
Yeah.
It was perfect. It was classic.
Yeah.
And there's nothing wrong with texting and being connected, but you got to realize that you have to be able to look people in the eye, and you have to be able to interact.
Right, exactly.
Otherwise, you're going to pay the price.
Yep, it definitely diminishes that personal interaction with people in general. So yeah, that's definitely a huge pet peeve of mine. I love.
Good for you.
My mom, she even like today, I called my mom on the way to work, and I can tell when she wanted to cut the conversation short. She'd be like, "Well, son, my breath is in. You know, they know. They know. I want to talk. I want to see how things.
What
is
did you
going.
do to your poor mother?
No, just communicating.
But did you get off the phone?
Oh yeah, I got off the phone.
Yeah.
Now the real reason I sent her some money through Western Union
Yes.
on the weekend, and so she was kind of telling me some things about the family, whatever. Because I want to get the scoop, of course.
Yes.
And then find out that she picked up the money and stuff like that. But I don't want to ever lose that with the people in my family that I'm around.
And the thing is that you're aware of that.
Oh yeah.
A lot because of what the work you do.
Yeah.
A lot of people aren't, and all of a sudden they turn around, they look in the mirror, they're 75, and there's nobody around.
Yeah.
And it's
Yeah.
like, oops, I forgot to make friends.
Yeah. But a text message can be it could be misunderstood too.
Yeah.
For sure.
Oh, yeah.
Well,
with texting, like when you and I text back and forth,
yeah.
there's no emotion in it.
Exactly.
Okay. Like so, I say, okay, fine. You might think, okay, great, we're done. Or you might think, okay, fine.
Yeah, exactly.
Why is he pissed off?
Right, exactly.
Okay, fine. Why is he? And you don't get that with texting, and that's one of the problems.
Yeah.
Things get misunderstood.
Exactly.
So I'm waiting for the phone to come up in 10 years from now, where when you hold it, it can sense your emotion.
Interesting.
And I think that's where it's headed.
Interesting.
We shall see.
Oh yeah, you're probably right.
But texting, I can't, just myself in the short, 10 years I've been using a cell phone, I've gotten into so much trouble misunderstanding people's texts.
Yeah.
It's like, why are you mad?
Yeah, exactly.
I'm not mad.
Yeah. Well, now they got the little emojis to kind of help you out a little bit.
I guess.
The smiley.
I
and
know. I've been avoiding it.
Yeah.
I have to get into that.
Yeah. Emails and it just. Yeah.
Well, you can do voice now too.
Yeah, that's true.
If it's really important. But I just, it's like people's ringtones. Why pick a mature ringtone, because you know that eventually you're going to get a phone call that's going to say, all of a sudden you've got something like somebody burping.
Yeah.
That's your ringtone. Yeah, it's Aunt Sally, and they say she doesn't have long to live. You don't want to have your phone doing that and then getting that phone call.
Yeah. Oh, that's true. Some people have a ringtone for each person, or a selected few of people.
Yeah,
they can know who.
Yeah,
it is
I haven't
and stuff.
mastered that. I'm still a neophyte.
I
I've got to, if I don't understand it, I walk outside. I wait for a millennial to stop by. Hey, excuse me. Can you help me with this? God, I had to set up an Etsy account this weekend. It took me 2.5 hours. I had to call them.
Yeah. It's funny, but no, I do like the emojis though. I use them to kind of.
Okay, I will try.
Shows.
I will try. It's just one more thing on my plate.
Yeah, some type of expression.
Well, yeah, maybe that will bridge.
Yeah.
The ability to not misunderstand somebody's text.
Yeah. Let's talk a little bit about stress, because I think stress kind of
stress is the killer.
Yeah, that go along a lot what we're talking about. I think some people are natural stressors. Some people naturally if they're not stressing, if they don't have a drum. I mean, really, there are people like this, and I know people like this. They cannot function. Yeah. I know somebody, and they're always so negative. And I was just telling this person one day, I'm like, do you realize everything that you have been saying has been negative, and I've been trying to say positive things, and you keep shooting me down.
Yeah, you're banging your head against the wall.
And this is every single, I cannot.
Yeah, I know.
And the thing about this person, it's not bad at all. Like they're financially, they got it going on overall, but they just such a negative person. I don't know how.
It's the killer. It's a silent killer.
Yeah.
And some, how can you tell how much stress you can take? I don't know.
Yeah.
You should monitor your blood pressure.
Actually, this person has 2 blood pressure monitors.
Okay, African Americans especially.
Well, he's not African Americans.
Okay, African American males. They should all get, just once they turn 35 years old, just
really
get a blood pressure, automatic blood pressure machine.
So why, because I don't. Tell me why.
I don't think I know the reason why. Why do more African Americans get sickle cell?
Really?
That's a horrible
See, I didn't
disease.
know
Have you ever
that.
seen sickle cell? Oh my God, the
No.
pain is unbelievable. And it's predominantly with African Americans.
Wow.
I'm not sure why. It has to do with genetics. There's wiser people that could speak about that.
Yeah.
But stress, what do you do about stress? Find ways to relieve it.
Yeah.
You know, some ways to relieve it are worse. I mean, excess drinking is probably more negative. Doesn't
Yeah.
really solve the stress. Learning how to deal with stress in a healthy way. That is an art, my friend.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I think for some people who are used to being people that stress or negative, I don't think they really can see how.
They get into a pattern, and that's how they live their life. I don't think they really understand that this is what I want and this is what I like. I think they just get into a pattern
Yeah.
of thinking negative about everything.
Exactly.
And argue for your limitations, and they're yours.
Right.
If you're going to continue with that negative thoughts, and everything in your life is turning out negative,
Yeah.
you might try something else.
Right. Right.
But that's hard to do.
Yeah, but the thing is,
Point it out. Just keep pointing it out.
I do,
I
and
know.
it's a very smart and extremely intelligent.
You know, yoga helps. The whole mindfulness that is big now helps. I'm hoping that it just all comes together into one fine discipline. I thought that was going to happen in the year 2000.
Yeah.
But we're not even close.
Yeah.
Yeah, dealing with stress is tough.
Yeah. Well, I know exercise reduces stress. You just talked about yoga, other type of meditation, listening to calm
Working
music.
out, music, you know, I mean, what do you do? What calms you down?
Yeah.
Arts and crafts. I make necklaces.
Yeah.
I just, you know, I can go for hours.
Yeah.
Yeah, stress is the killer.
Yeah. Yeah. What do you think about those who, because we all have those close friends, some of us at least, have close friends who,
Oh, God.
you know, you love them, but they just have a lot of drama in their lives, and they just
You
bring this
can't
negative
change.
energy.
You're not going to change people.
Exactly.
You can only make them aware of other alternatives.
But what do you do for people who is being affected by that? Like, I'm not talking about me by no means, because
Right.
I know how to set boundaries. But for those people who may have good friends or family members that
Toxic relationships.
yeah, so yeah, you know, and you just
Beats
it's-
me. I don't know. All you could do is point out and provide alternatives,
yeah,
and hopefully they'll take it.
yeah,
No matter how much, you know, sometimes the more we yell and scream at people, the farther away they go. I mean, I was thinking when my daughter was growing up that I was going to listen to a lot of rap music.
Oh,
She
really?
got a little older, because then she'd like go to classical.
Yeah,
So I figured,
nice.
okay, if I listen to nothing but loud rap music, maybe by the time she's 20, she'll be listening to Beethoven and Bach, and I'll be like, yeah.
yeah.
No, I couldn't do it.
Did-
Yeah, I thought if I did the opposite, maybe that would work. People are going to do what they're going to do.
That is true.
As a good friend, you could say, look, I am worried about you because you seem really stressed out. What do you want to do? You want to
Yeah.
go see somebody? You want to start taking a yoga class together? You want to go to the gym?
Yeah.
Do what you can do, but you can't force people to do it.
Yeah, I have a friend who I hope she don't mind me sharing this. Her and her mother had a very tumultuous relationship, and her mom was, you know, she brought a lot of stress in her life, you
Yeah.
know, because she had some mental health issues that contributed to her behavior towards her daughter. And my friend, for like 2 years, Royce, you know, she endured a lot of mental abuse. And she was unhappy. It was to the point where she lived by herself before her mom moved in. And it got to a point where she was a hostage in her own home, so to
Yeah.
speak. She would have to go to her car in order to have her private conversations. She wouldn't even go in the living room area anymore because that's where the mom slept at. Cooking, just things that she enjoyed doing in her own home, she was no longer able to do. But of course, she still loved her mom. She tried to help her mom. I remember when she asked me for some advice because her mom didn't have a cell phone.
What did you tell her?
Well, as far as what I suggested that, the first thing I said, well, you should learn about your mom's diagnoses because that would help you to better understand and react and not take everything personally.
Right.
Once you understand her diagnoses, if you still see things as getting out of control, then you may want to think about putting her or getting her some help. 5150s and stuff like that. But in the beginning, my friend, she just took everything personal.
Yeah.
Personal because.
And if she isn't able to make a difference with her mom, then what she's doing is not working.
Correct.
As much as you love her, you got to say, hey, I'm not working.
Right.
I'm not able
Right.
to help you or change you. We need to pass this off to somebody else.
Right.
Maybe that's living in a different environment.
Yeah.
Maybe that's in a home. Maybe, but to destroy two lives
Right.
is silly.
Right.
I know you love your mom, but what you're doing isn't working.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's not your fault.
Yeah. Yeah.
You need to get something else.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
And that's tough.
that's
That's hard. I mean, yeah, I'm going to walk away from my mom. Yeah,
and
I know.
she's the only child.
Yeah.
She's the only child,
Yeah.
and for 2 years.
Yeah, then you got to deal with abandonment issues and all that other stuff. But you have to realize that you will destroy you.
Yeah, yeah. It did a lot of damage. It did
Yeah,
a lot
I
of
bet.
damage.
I'll bet.
I helped the best way I knew how, and she loved her mom dearly. I mean, I say,
What'd she finally do?
honestly, truthfully, she had to get her mom put out her house because she wouldn't leave.
Was she able to arrive at that?
Well, it got to a point where her mom refused to receive any help from her. She had actually got her mom a senior living apartment.
Nice.
And her mom refused to even, she didn't want to take it. She was just like, okay, I'm going to stay here and pretty much you're going to take care of me. I'm going to stay here. And that was it for her. Because at that point, my friend was like, well, you have a chance to have your own space, your own place. I'm going to help you. But I need my space back. I need my me time. And that was the drawing point for her.
Yeah, that's really a great story.
And the process of her having to go to court, it broke her heart because
I bet.
the sheriffs had to actually come out there and remove her mom. And she had mixed emotions about the whole thing. But I always told her, I said, your mental health is more important. If your because you cannot help somebody if you're not in a space to help them.
Right.
You just can't do it.
Yeah. Sometimes what's best for us is not easily understood.
Exactly.
And that's tough. Sometimes you don't know. Well, yeah.
And I was careful at the advice I was giving. I wasn't just like blurting it out, but I was very careful at the advice I was giving to
And
her.
you have to be, because you can make it worse.
Right, exactly. And
Well, Jesse told me to do
Right.
this, so I will. Oh, way to go, Jesse!
Yeah. I was
know.
praying and just trying to let things come out at the right time.
Yeah.
As she led certain conversations, and I was able to give my feedback. But that was one of the hardest things that she went through for sure.
How did she do once she was in her own place?
Who?
The adult.
My friend?
Yeah, the adult living space.
She is doing awesome. She's in the process of buying a house. Everything is like night and day.
It is.
Night and day.
So mom got better in terms of taking care of herself once she was separated from that?
Well, she's in a better place for sure. Put it like that.
Yeah.
She's
okay.
definitely in a better place for sure.
That's good. It doesn't always work out like that.
Yeah.
But that's good.
Yeah. Well, Russ, we've run out of time, and I want to thank you for being
quick.
on our show.
Great.
Thank you for tuning into this edition of Mental Health Matters. If you enjoyed this particular show, or if you would like to be a guest on the show, or if you would like a DVD copy of the show, please dial 916-366-4600. Thank you.